Welcome to The Point of View. This is your favorite current affairs show here on Channel 1 Television. On The Point of View, we get the right people. We ask them relevant questions on issues that matter to you. We are excited to be live tonight because we have our MP, the MP for this constituency where Channel 1 TV is based, to talk to us about many things, development in our constituency, about the state of his party, the MPP, state of Ghana, state of the world, all of that in the next 55 minutes. You can send your questions and comments to Honorable Patrick Boamah when we come back. Stay with us.
Smile.
Considering oral surgery? Hi, I'm Tanya from Bethel Dental Clinic, Ghana. Whether you need a routine extraction or a complex dental implant procedure, you want a dental team that provides compassionate care with superior outcomes. A thorough diagnosis is the first step, which involves dental x-rays to assess your condition. This ensures that you're fully informed and comfortable with the plan you choose. Understanding what to expect during the recovery period is also important. By following these steps, you'll be well prepared to recover smoothly and avoid complications. Learn more about surgical services and schedule your consultation today. Bethel Dental Clinic, the smile starts here.
Healthy smile.
Remember who we are seeing now. At risk of prostate enlargement. Uyi emema oha 20 ebitimi nya prostate cancer. 5 bitimi afamu na dia ubefamu.
Actually, this is not my fault.
Why? And to wada. Entina midi meniche Executive Prostate Center.
Executive Prostate Center is a unique medical center where we harmonize in-depth traditional medicine with cutting-edge science and technology to cure, to treat, and to prevent diseases like prostate enlargement, prostate cancer.
Executive Prostate Center. Madame home. Facilities no any professional medical care.
Sisi a bibia clear system no. Yen no so de natural into we koso afama yi.
Executive Prostate Center. My cured.
In a fast-growing urban environment like Accra, you might think that your CCTV or electric fence would prevent crime. Hear the real stories from those who now feel safe like never before with Response 1.
We had CCTV and electric fence. We thought we were safe. But when the robbers came in, they cut our fence and they didn't care. I was terrified for my baby's life. The CCTV recorded everything. But Response 1 monitored alarm system, which is connected to our electric fence, that saved us. The swift response from the alarm system triggered a signal instantly. They dispatched their response team immediately. We now feel safe. Now we truly feel protected.
Don't wait for tragedy to strike. Protect your home with Response 1's monitored alarm system and our theft protection guarantee. Immediate response, real protection. Response 1, stay connected, stay protected.
So Patrick Boamah is the MP for our constituency, Okaikwei Central, and he's here in the studio live to talk to us about many, many things. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Bernard. Good evening.
Good evening. The first time I interviewed you, this constituency was surrounded by only MPP parliamentarians. But now, I think you're the only MPP in a sea of NDC. John Dumelo has taken over from across the road. Then we have Lariba taking over from Achimota area.
Lydia. Yeah.
Lydia. Then we also have Keon taking over for Nana Komia's Okaikwei South. And Ablekuma North is in dispute. I think 2013, all of these were possibly MPP.
Thank you very much, Bernard.
And I'm just remembering.
Good evening and to our cherished viewers and the good people of Okaikwei Central.
Correct.
What you said saddens me that we've gotten this far as a party. Nana Kumia's Okaikwei South is now in the hands of the NDC. Later, Jakume, so rest in peace, his constituency is now in the hands of
John Dumelo,
my good friend. Then Kion is in the south. Lydia, Awuni, Okaikwei North. Then Ablekuma North is undecided.
You could even say Ayawaso Central, which is across
just the corner. It's been taken over from Henry Korte and Okaikwei.
I think his name is what's his name?
Tubazu. Honorable Tubazu.
Yeah.
You've done a very good analysis of where we are.
And you won narrowly. Some people even think you didn't win.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I think your opponent thinks he won.
Oh, no.
But you won by the skin of your tooth.
No.
Okaikwei Central was supposed to be the safest of the three Okaikweis when it was carved out.
No.
It was not?
Let me tell you. When Okaikwei Central was carved out in October, just around September 2012, most of the people in Okaikwei North wanted me to contest there because they felt it was the easier of the two.
So this is Achimota, Akweteman.
Achimota, Akweteman, Niboyman, Kiseman, Achimota school area, Abofu.
So they felt that was much safer for MPP than Tesano, Fadama,
Yes,
Abeka.
Because we had won 2008 by, I think, 1,700, 1,800 margin. So they felt me being a new candidate, I should have opted for the North. But I said I lived in Tesano. There was no way I was going to. So I had to put in a different strategy from October to December. And I was able to win with 7,200 difference and 10,000.
So you made it safe, seemingly safe.
But I tell you what, 2024 was a different election across the country. We had won the 2016 election with a margin of about 1 million votes and about 169 constituencies. Fast forward 2020, we won the election with over 500,000 votes and 137 seats, plus an independent seat. So I believe God was talking to the MPP at the time, and we should have listened to the good people of this country and put in place the right measures and policies to make the people happy. Ashanti region was grumbling, Eastern region was grumbling, Greater Accra. There were issues that we should have listened to. Party folks were calling for a major reshuffle. People have stayed in office for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. DC is same, some chief executives and what have you. But you realize that it did not happen. And the elections told us that if we had listened, we would have done far better than we did. 2024 election also taught us a few things. That Ghanaians don't make mistakes. At every material time, they know who they want to vote for. I'm an NPP, I would have loved Dr. Boamah to win, but the circumstances around the country, the factors, everything was against the MPP, except those of us who were in the party. Some of us knew that we were facing a headwind and it was going to be a very difficult election for us. I put in place the right strategies to win. I knew by 7:30 of election night that I had won the election because I had my system of calculation and collating my results. So by 8 p.m., I told my people to go to the center and continue with the collation with the EC because I knew my results.
But you needed a recount to finally be declared a winner.
There wasn't a recount. Bernard,
Really?
this was what happened. The EC has a way of collating their results from polling station to polling station. And on election night, right after 6:30, they started collating their results. Your reporters were there. The screens were there showing results being transmitted on their portal for everybody to see with the polling station codes. They got to 138 out of the 140 polling stations, plus the declared results from the special voting, which I had won. That was when City or you were then Channel 1 last year, had projected I had won the election, and you were forced to pull down your results because some people went there and said that NDC had won the presidential, and they don't see any reason, the reason why Boamah should win the parliamentary. But those are two different and distinct elections.
Fair enough, but there was a recollation nonetheless. There had to be, because the EC on 21st December then did a recollation and then announced that you had won. Because of the dispute.
They had to complete the collation because they were left with 2 polling stations to add. And if they had even given all those votes to the NDC, I still would have won the elections.
So you prefer to use the word a complete collation?
Because there's nothing in CI 127 that talks about recollation.
Well, the EC themselves described what they were doing at the police head office, a police training school, as a recollation. That's what they described it as. So we use that.
Yes.
I'm not here to
no, I agree with you.
But to be fair, this has been your toughest election, even for you, in this constituency.
Yeah, because given the situation of the country, if factors were going to affect my party and government, definitely it was going to affect me, regardless of what I had done. If I hadn't performed well, I tell you, I would have lost the election.
Does the MPP know the reason why it lost so badly?
Bernard, that was the reason why we, as a party, asked Professor Okaikwei and his team to go around the country, to ask around the country the reasons that led to our defeat and our abysmal performance. I'm of the view that aspects of the report that affects constituencies must be known to them to enable them put in place the right measures to recalibrate and prepare themselves for 2028. We as constituencies ought to also do some analysis and compare with what the Okaikwei report generated. It hasn't happened.
He's not been made public, or do we know if his report even looked at constituencies or just a national picture?
Yeah, they went around constituencies, but it was, for me, it wasn't that thorough.
In terms of constituency level?
Yes, because every constituency has its own issues. There are people within every constituency who have issues that they thought they should have been given the opportunity to engage the Okaikwei committee over a period. If you are touring 276 constituencies, you have to take your time. I'm of the opinion that we even needed, as a serious party, as an external consultant, to even do...
Moving forward to take the decisions it's taken in relation to some of the things we've heard in the past few weeks about dates and stuff. Because, of course, you are a leading member of parliament. You're actually the chairman of the subsidiary legislative committee. You're a 4-time MP. So you're telling me, hat on hand, you haven't seen the report?
Bernard, I'm a very senior member of the party.
Wow.
If you talk about those who have served from the base up to this level, I'm a very senior member of the party. I know the ins and outs of the party, just that some of us don't talk too much.
Yeah.
We as a caucus ought to also conduct an in-depth analysis of our performance as a caucus. We need to engage a group like ISA or Institute of Democratic Development or CDD to also assist us, because it's in our general interest to know. Because you can't offer prescription to somebody when you haven't done the diagnostics well. And that is where we are lacking. For us to jump and determine that, oh, National Council has the right to fix the venue and date to select a flag bearer. I think, with the greatest of respect, just putting the cart before the horse.
I'm a bit surprised to hear that the leadership of Parliament has not seen the content of the report.
Nobody.
So, was the issue of the National Council's meeting and their subsequent decision discussed with the parliamentary leadership?
The party steering committee has the elected executives of the party, and the minority leader attends on behalf of the caucus. He's one person who attends the steering committee. Their decisions are sent to the National Executive Committee. Then, National Executive Committee reports to the National Council. That is the procedure. Then some of the decisions cannot be taken by National Council, ought to be taken by conference. You understand? So that is the hierarchy within the organizational structure of the New Patriotic Party. But I'm saying that if we want to win an election, say in 2028, a lot more has to be done than fixing dates and announcing venues for the election.
We've heard some people say that.
We've
heard some people say that there were lots of people who recommended what we're seeing. I think I saw an article that suggests that quite a number of submissions were made to the committee that went into the constitutional review, and a lot of it suggested the need for an early Congress. So somehow this decision seems to be stemming from the Okaikwei committee report. Do we need to separate the early Congress discussion from the sequence of the elections?
Bernard, I'm telling you that as a minority caucus, we haven't seen the Okaikwei report. So we don't even know whether it was reported in that in their recommendations that there ought to be early Congress. You understand? So that is one. Number two, the tenure of office of the polling station executives, the coordinators, the constituency executives, the regional executives, the national executives, will come to an end very soon. And are we saying that they are going to be the focal group to elect a candidate for their party to run for the elections in 2028, when their time is near, when their performance produced the results that we had? Don't you think, as a reasonable party and within the spirit and letter of our Constitution, find a way to overhaul the structure that gave us the results? I'm not saying that the polling station executives and the officers did not do what they had to do. Some did, some didn't. And I'm telling you that somebody is sitting in Okaikwei Central whose ambition is to become a polling station executive in the next election when the polls are open, nominations are open, so that that person can also come and say that, look, I want to be a polling station chairman here because I identify these issues, and if we put in the right measures, we should be able to overturn the results in, let's say, MISPA school. Somebody also wants to be a constituency officer, a regional officer, and a national officer. As we sit, our national chairman is indisposed. A big party like ours is on the shoulders of the general secretary.
There's no interim chairman?
No. It's the acting chairman, the first vice chairman, who has even called for all the national officers to vacate their positions.
He has called for that. Wow.
So I'm asking you, Bernard, as a party, we've gone through reforms, we've gone through changes that led to the election of President Kufuor in Legon and also in Sunyani, and subsequently he became the president of Ghana. This party has produced 2 presidents. We are fortunate to have 2 sitting former presidents alive. I'm calling on them to call for some action and order in the party, because this party produce them. If we are going through this turmoil, we ask that they call people around the table and have a heart-to-heart chat with them.
Are you a member of National Council?
I'm a member of National Council, National Executive.
By
virtue of my chairmanship as the chairman of the subsidiary legislation.
Were you at the meeting they held to deliberate on this issue of the sequence of voting?
Okay, there were 2 meetings on that day. And because of the vetting of the justices, I went for the NEC meeting. So when the minority leader came, he asked that myself and the deputy leader, Madam Patricia PJ, go to Parliament to take care of the vetting of the justices.
Whilst he goes to the National Council meeting?
National Executive
meeting.
That was in the morning. So we left the venue because I had asked the General Secretary when I got there whether a decision was going to be made for early Congress. And he said, oh, he wasn't too sure about that. But it could come up. So when I went back, the leader came after the first meeting, that was NEC, and told me that, oh, he was going to go for the council, but we should stay and continue with the vetting. That was what happened. But Bernard.
Just a quick question. Does the caucus take a position for these type of meetings, or you go as individuals?
The caucus should have met to discuss the caucus's position. But you see, when I got there, I asked for the agenda for the meeting, and there was no agenda. So some of these things were originated by some people within the council.
In the course of the meeting?
That was what I was.
Which means if you had knew, for example, what the subject matter of that meeting would be,
you could have written a position paper on it.
For that to be read on your behalf,
Yes.
and then so as we speak, your voice was not probably heard on that debate.
No, but I've stated on various platforms that I'm against this approach of selecting a flag bearer when we haven't fixed the party. We need to fix the party. We need to fix the party to make the party attractive again, to be able to win a general election. That is why I said we need a very organized and disciplined party to elect a president, not a flag bearer. Because those declaring to be flag bearers and what have you, what are we standing on? What are we going to be standing on to win a general election? What some of my people forget is that what led to our abysmal performance was the lack of public trust in our party. And we need to build that public trust and confidence again. Because it cannot be that you go into an election and produce this result and all you are interested in is to electing a flag bearer. Nobody does that.
What I've been told, but I think I interviewed the General Secretary here, one of the things I heard was that sometimes you need to stop the war of attrition. And I suspect they feel that there are too many elections. All these levels of elections will further divide the party. And because the party is already divided, if you mend it by choosing the leader, those at the bottom have no reason to fight because they will all have to rally behind the leader. That's the logic. I'm not saying I agree with the logic, but that's my understanding of the logic.
I've been in this business way before the General Secretary. I'm telling you with all due respect. I was in Sunyani for the election of President Kufuor. The contestants at the time, Malik Alhassan Yakubu, J.H. Mensah, J. Kufuor, Nana Akufo-Addo, Kofi Konadu Apreku, Kodua, and co. Big boys in the party. They all respected the will of the Congress that elected President Kufuor because they put in place the right measures and everybody saw the transparency in the process. And they respected the party's choice. My view is that if you don't take care and you purport to rush the process and somebody feels the process was skewed one way or the other because the Electoral College was not reformed to reflect the times, how can you call that person to come and join a campaign wholeheartedly? That must be a source of worry to any of the aspirants who are declaring or who have declared so far, that you need to carry the entirety of the party, the spirit and the body of the party behind you. I'll give you one example. When Nana Akufo-Addo beat Alan Kyerematen in 2014, Alan Kyerematen followed Nana Akufo-Addo. President Akufo-Addo?
Yes.
Excuse my language.
Yes.
Across the country, and was even the one introducing him before he spoke on the campaigns, because he knew the outcome of the elections was fair. That was under
this is 2014.
Yeah, Foko and Japan. That gave us that big victory, because there was transparency in the process leading up to the election of parliamentary candidates and also the flag bearer. And you saw what happened when people were not given the opportunity, suspension here and there, you are not qualified. It gave us that result in 2020. Like I said earlier on to you, that we're being told spiritually to look internally and reform, but it fell on deaf ears. But I want to believe people have started writing opinions about the Constitution. Yeah, the Constitution may say one thing, but you have to also look at the realities and how reasonable the processes are, so that the true will of the delegates or the party is realized to enable us present.
So let me just understand the position. You're saying that the choice of, or the decision to choose the flag bearer before going through the process of choosing national officers, regional officers, constituency officers is the wrong sequence.
It is a wrong
number
sequence.
One. And number two, that then means that additionally, the people choosing that flag bearer may not even be legitimate, because you cannot use the same electoral college or the same executives who led you to a defeat in 2024 to oversee a 2028 presidential choice.
Because these executives were the same executives that elected our former vice president and our former flag bearer, Dr. Boamah. You understand? And the reforms that is being proposed is that, we maintain the 5 polling station people and add 2 people. How are you going to elect them? How are you going to elect the 2? Who is going to conduct that election? And, when you receive constitutional amendment proposals, the Constitution also tells you that 1 month to the conference, you need to circulate those proposals to the constituencies for an input. They also need to make an input when they come to Congress.
You didn't see those?
I haven't seen the proposals. I'm a constituency member.
But they will bring them to Congress. I'm told they said they are doing conference also in July. We are in June.
So you
haven't seen them yet?
I haven't seen. And you need to also even organize constituency conferences, regional conferences.
To discuss these proposals?
Yes.
So a lot of things seem
they are all in the constitution of our party. I don't understand the rush, but
we'll take a break. I haven't heard a lot of people dissenting to what the leadership of the party has decided. You're one of the few, and a few others who have come out to say they don't agree. We'll talk about that more, and also we'll discuss other issues. You seem very prominent in Parliament. This is your pose when you are asking that's your pose. It's the vetting pose.
Oh, really?
We'll talk about your vetting pose. No, you can do it. It's a nice pose.
Oh, look at you.
We'll do the vetting pose. Patrick Boamah
Mischief.
is MP for Okaikwei Central. We're talking about many things, including the MPP and the state of the party. Stay with us.
To get polytech.
Oh, and you're fine.
Go straight.
No, I want for left, right.
And that's right. Ghana na ye wono. So when you do more, and ye data. Oh no! I beg, na here. Me Mr. Politan at all. And you think I'm in your bed to put your number or food to be and tell you cry.
Akuya bulambu kotoman. Emua.
Like that, they took my eyes. Go to the distributor and you give the original Politan. You get a sound?
Politank, Papananka Sankasa.
Introducing Betway's Bet Influencer, a groundbreaking feature where you can make money by just sharing codes. He just needs to share his codes and make money. The more his codes are used, the more money he makes. Oh yes, so what are you waiting for? Anyone can be a bet influencer. Share your codes and make money. Bet Influencer, another world first from Betway.
This advert has been approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, get way more.
Imagine waking up to serenity every day, surrounded by nature's beauty and luxury at your fingertips in a gated estate you can be proud to call your home. Welcome to Western Villas, located at Mensa, where our stunning homes redefine elegance. At Western Villas, each home is a masterpiece, designed with precision and love. From swimming pool, gym, playground, beautiful landscaped gardens and private balconies, making every day feel like a retreat. We also have executive plots for sale at McCarthy Hill, strategically located and offer unparalleled views, easy access to amenities, and endless possibilities for executive living. With just 5% deposit, you can reserve your space. Contact us today to learn more about our luxury homes at Mensa or executive plots at McCarthy Hill. Call us now on 0536 502295 or visit www.westernvillas.com for more information.
The Point of View is live with Patrick Boamah, MP for Okaikwei Central. He's a member of 3 key committees in Parliament. He's chair of the Subsidiary Legislation Committee. That committee, among others, is headed by a minority member. He's also a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee and the Committee on Environment. We're talking about the MPP. He disagrees with the decision to choose a flag bearer before electing party officers from the polling station all through to national level. He thinks you need to actually mend the party first. He actually put out a nice tweet which summarizes this. If I have the tweet, essentially saying that how do you choose a leader? Where is this? Yes. The MPP needs a strong party, well organized and disciplined to produce a president, not just a flag bearer. Do you sense a leadership vacuum in the party?
I do. I do. Because the constitution of our party makes the national chairman the leader of our party. And sometimes people mistakenly say, oh, the flag bearer or the president. No. It's always been the chairman of the party who's the leader of the party.
Even when you're in government?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I thought, okay, NDC, I think when they're in government, the president is or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So for you, chairman all times?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think that is where the problem is. We've been used to having strong chairmen who could correct even the flag bearer or marshal his national executive officers to sit the president or the flag bearer down to put in place some arrangements to ensure for the betterment of the party.
Who is the de facto leader of MPP now? We know the jury is the chairman. Chairman is not, as you've said, he's not
indisposed. Yeah.
So who is the anchor of the MPP?
It's supposed to be the acting national chairman.
No, I'm not asking you're not a lawyer. I'm talking about de facto. I'm not talking about the jury. I'm saying who
de facto.
Yes, a de jury is the person by law. You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
Yeah, so
you.
Okay, NDC now, the leader is John Mahama. Yeah. It's very clear.
Yeah.
Even though General Mosquito is the chairman, we know that Mr. Mahama has the most influence.
Are you sure about that?
Oh, it's very clear. I mean, you've been in politics for a few. Is it Nanado?
No.
Why not? Just immediate past president. Because when Mahama lost in 2016, even though General Mosquito was there, you could say the two of them because Mahama was also highly...
Because President Mahama was going to contest again. You have a situation...
Initially, he hadn't even said he was.
Oh, we knew.
You know, his brother had sent a statement that he was... In fact, the family issued a statement when he lost 26 that they were not sure he was going to go again.
Oh, President Boamah was going to. He's a very shrewd politician. He knew, took a back seat, watched the environment, and came back and got it right.
Anyway, so are you saying that that's a different scenario? You can't compare oranges with that?
No.
But MPP now...
We don't have.
Akufo-Addo was president for 8 years.
See?
Okay, let me change the question. Who wields the most influence in MPP today?
You can't say anyone.
Seriously?
Yes.
Okay, what if I push you to choose top 3 most influential MPP people?
Now?
Yes. Who, if they came on air and called for... and made a call, people would listen?
President Kufuor, Nana Akufo-Addo.
Okay.
And Dr. Boamah is the immediate past candidate.
So they are possibly the top 3?
Yes.
That if they... Okay.
You have to lead by example.
Okay. So Kufuor, Akufo-Addo, Boamah. Do you know President Kufuor's position on all that's going on?
No, I haven't spoken to him.
He doesn't speak much until he is necessary, so we can't tell.
Yeah, and he wasn't even at the council meeting. So it's very important we hear his views on the happenings.
Was President Akufo-Addo there?
No, he wasn't. I think he's out of the country.
Was Vice President Boamah there?
Oh, he was.
So of the top 3, the only person who was there.
He was there.
He seems to agree because he hasn't disagreed with it.
Well, I haven't spoken to him, but he hasn't condemned or spoken against the position of council. Freddie Blay was there. And
he's a former chairman.
Yeah, he was there. He's part of.
He seems to agree.
I haven't heard his views on it.
Kwame Japan agrees.
He does.
Boache Jaku disagrees.
He disagrees.
Wow.
I think Kennedy Japan, I read.
Kennedy Japan's people are a bit iffy. Some of the members have said they don't agree. But the impression I get is even if they follow through, they will still play ball. I'm not sure, but I haven't heard them vehemently say no. Although I've heard some of them criticize it.
Well, we need to know his position.
You think so?
He's a senior member of the party. And his voice ought to be heard on some of these very important issues through a statement. Understand? Because it's a very important decision that ought to be analyzed well because it has an effect on our fortunes going into 2028. Because if we don't get it right and people take a back seat, it's going to affect us. Whether he's the candidate or Dr. Boamah or whoever is declaring now, you understand?
Some Ghanaians think MPP is rushing with their... MPP should not be talking about flag bearer now. They should be sort of reflecting on what happened and also watching what NDC or whoever is in government would do. So somehow, the whole discussion about flag bearer is considered nuisance to some people, not everybody.
Well, in this business, you have to be very careful and look at the space. One, the NDC has set in motion their administration and their program. Come next month, I think, towards the end of next month, the Minister of Finance will be coming to Parliament with his mid-year review.
But I know they have not even fully gotten the DCs working. They only finished orienting them last week. So you can say the full complement of the government has not fully been rolled out. So, and yet you're talking about a flag bearer. We haven't had that 1 year.
That's why I said, I think on one of your sister stations that, for me, we will be able to criticize the NDC at the end of year 1. Having gone through their budget cycle, listened to their mid-year review, Ato Forsen, Finance Minister, will be coming to Parliament in November with the budget for 26. That will give us an indication of the outturns, their revenue measures, the expenditure, and what have you, the promises they made, and what they've been able to achieve. The 5%, the fuel levy, the Doomsor levy that they withdrew, and a few other issues. Now they've been instructed to look at the happenings in between Iran. Yes, because your budget projected a certain revenue with an eye on oil revenue. Now, crude oil prices are hovering around $78 per barrel. So it has an effect on your budget, even though you are not participating in the war. So those are some of the things we should be looking at. Unemployment issues. 100 people have been laid off at the central bank. About 20,000 more in other state institutions. What are we doing as a party? You have a lot of promises. Agric Ministry was allocated a paltry 1.5 billion cedis. Meanwhile, there's a big program in the NDC manifesto. Road contractors haven't been paid. We are being told that the city is doing very well. Yes.
We are being told, but you know.
How come
you
then?
can see it. It's not we are being told.
You see, Bernard.
Can't you see? How much did you buy the dollar last week?
It's now 12.6.
But it was close to 16 in your time. So
No,
clearly, it's better.
At the time we're leaving office, it was around 14. I'm not saying it's not a good deal, but if you start paying your contractors, if you start paying your service providers,
it's all economic management, right? You prioritize your payment, financial management. You decide what
it's
to pay.
good. If it stays there, it's good for the business community.
Don't you want it to stay?
I want it to
or
stay.
Or then people hoping it doesn't?
No. I want it to stay.
Have you commended them for bringing it down?
We should allow the economy to run on its legs properly so that we get to know what exactly...
Which is why the question I asked is relevant. Now, why are your people talking about 2028? Because the whole idea is, look...
For me, it's premature.
Yeah, we just chose a government. The guy hasn't even fully done anything. And you guys are thinking about... So it's almost like you are living from election to election. And that's not what it's supposed to be.
That's not how it's supposed to be. That's why some of us will continue to talk about it till it makes sense to some people that we need to prioritize. We need to set up teams to look at government's programs and come out with positions on them. As we speak, it's only the minority caucus that does that frequently on positions because that's the most...
But that's your job.
Yeah, that's the most organized group within the party.
Yeah.
But the party also must have some strategic committees looking at the economy, looking at agriculture, telecommunications, defense, and national security to feed the members of parliament. You understand? But we are interested in selecting a flag bearer. That's unfortunate.
Some have even said you could be a flag bearer. In fact, when I go on social media, when I posted this article, a lot of people said you'll be a good running mate. I'm serious. No, they said it. You haven't heard?
Running mate.
They say you look like Kufuor, you behave like him. And you know Kufuor is loved in Ghana.
Yes.
He's probably the most popular former president.
Oh yes, that one I can tell you.
Is he your father?
My political father and my mentor, everything.
You know, I can't. If somebody say, "Oh, me papa," we have to be.
Moja.
But have you been told you look like him?
I've been told.
You behave like him.
Really?
Did he mentor you?
He did.
Because the way he even talks, he lowers his voice, he brings his head down.
Oh, Bernard.
It's true.
Anyway.
No. I mean, my camera guys are laughing.
Thumbs up to President Kufuor.
So he mentored you?
He did.
Do you know what he thinks about the state of MPP today?
Yeah, President Kufuor is a man of few words. He's not happy. That I know. He will tell you, you guys must do what it takes to bring the party to the level that it deserves. Otherwise, there will be no future for you people. That's the advice he'll give you. So every time he's following events in the party, events in the country, he knows everything. He listens, he follows everything. He will discuss everything with you and he's very sharp. He's worried about the state of the party. That I can tell you for free. I saw him on Friday at late Justice Badigbe's funeral. The first question he asks you, how is the party front? Because it's the party that made him. It's part of him. So he must be worried, Bernard.
I see. But how is the minority leadership doing? I'm asking this on two levels. You said that in Parliament you are the guys who are the most organized group. But even from an outside view, the minority seems a bit over-eager to be heard. Because the NDC is still having its honeymoon. Arguably, right? The general view, I mean the media, the general view of the NDC is very high. And some people see the way your leader opposes the the government has too much theatrics, unnecessary drama.
Bernard, leadership is a matter of style. And the issues determine what the minority leader does. Sometimes we go into caucus and discuss some of the positions. Sometimes you're on the floor and a matter comes up and he needs to take some steps. Rightly or wrongly, you need to back him up. But if we go into conclave, we are able to discuss matters and so, given the situation, if we had done A, B, C, D. So it's a new leadership in opposition. We're bruised. Sometimes you want to ask yourself, are we still in opposition or in government? But I believe the leader is doing his best in the circumstances. And some of us will continue to offer the best advice to ensure that we get the right image, the right posturing, carry the right message to the people.
But he's clashed a lot with the chairman of the appointments committee. A lot. Even last week on the vetting of the justices, there was another incident. Some people think it's becoming one too many.
Well, they have their issues on the committee. Usually, he feels he gets interrupted too many times by the chair of the committee, Honorable Ahiafo. Sometimes people feel his questions, he keeps two people there for a long time. But minority leader has unlimited time by the conventions that we've always followed. From Bagbain's days, Honorable Bagbain's days, to Haruna Idrisu, say J. Mensah, and what have you. Because I, as a member, will be given 3 questions and a possible follow-up. So sometimes members fill in those questions to the leader. You understand? So that he will fill in the gaps. And he gets some extra information from the public, even as he sits and asks questions. People will be sending you messages. If I'm unable to ask, I have to ferry it through Jerry or to Madam Patricia PhD, so that we satisfy the generality of the public, so that they don't see us as not having done a thorough job.
I see.
Somebody will send you questions, personal questions that you see that this one is too personal and you can't ask.
I see.
But that person will call you after the event.
But you seem to have a friendly tone for your questions, even though not all your questions are friendly.
But I'm there to do some job. And I prepare very well for my vetting. I prepare very well. All my questions are well thought through, rehearsed.
You'll be a very good journalist.
Really?
Yeah. I'll take a break. When we come back, we'll wrap up. There are a few issues. He chairs an important committee, which I believe has to deal with LI 2462 and other issues. Stay with us. We'll read your comments too.
Remember who we are seeing now. At risk of prostate enlargement. Uyi emema oha. 20 ebitiminya prostate cancer. 5 bitimi afamu na dia ubefamu.
Actually, this is not my fault.
And to wada. Entina midi meniche Executive Prostate Center.
Executive Prostate Center is a unique medical center where we harmonize in-depth traditional medicine with cutting-edge science and technology to cure, to treat, and to prevent diseases like prostate enlargement, prostate cancer.
Executive Prostate Center. Madame home. Facilities no any professional medical care.
Sisi a bibia clear system no. Yen no so de natural. nti wobɛkɔ so afa ama yi.
Executive Prostate Center. My cured.
Introducing Betway's Bet Influencer, a groundbreaking feature where you can make money by just sharing codes. He just needs to share his codes and make money. The more his codes are used, the more money he makes. Oh yes, so what are you waiting for? Anyone can be a bet influencer. Share your codes and make money. Bet Influencer, another world first from Betway.
This advert has been approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, get way more.
We're back with Patrick Boamah. Let me read a few comments for him. Hi, Bernard, kindly find out from Patrick Boamah if he's indeed a winning second. If he is, please ask his opinion on the unfortunate statement made by Madam Patricia during the vetting of Justice Akabuafo. This is from a concerned winning second.
Okay, I'll answer.
From Tamale Abdul Mumin. Indeed, the decision of the party's leadership is a decision of we the grassroots. We promise to win with Dr. Boamah as candidate for the party. Full stop. Kenneth Japan must be careful who he allows to speak on his campaign platform. If an MPP displays the dirty religious politics, then how can Kenneth Japan campaign in Muslim communities? This is in reference to, and this is actually from somebody called Patrick in Accra. This is in reference to Sticker's comment about the ethnicity, I think the religion of, Another one says, Bernard, please ask Honorable Patrick Boamah who will be his favorite MPP candidate for 2028. Does he think the MPP is united as we speak? Prince Henry from Koforidua. Can you comment quickly on some of these?
Okay, on the Winneba thing, the statement made by Honorable Patricia Pedia about Justice Akabuafo leaving Abosu St. Augustine's, I managed to resolve it between Madam Patricia. She issued a statement, sort of, and even sent it to the Old Students Association headed by Mr. Odum. So it's not a matter that we would want to litigate further. It's an unfortunate statement. Secondly, Dr. Boamah and Kenneth Japan and ethnocentric.
Yes, the religious, I mean, your colleague, Stephen Amoa, said something in the campaign. And
let me use your big platform here to admonish members of our party that the internet doesn't forget. Whatever you say will quote or will be used against you. So we should be very careful about our utterances. You saw what happened in the last elections, and senior members of the party must be very careful with what they say. And somebody said, my favorite candidate for
2028.
We haven't gotten there. Bernard, from the interview so far, I'm telling you that it's not time for us to even elect a flag bearer. It's not. Because I mentioned the greats in 1998 as Sunyani. They didn't fight. They didn't fight. And we won the elections in 2000. A year and change to the elections. Right after the election of the flag bearer. When we had put in place the right measures. Let me ask you, do you know the MPP national officers? Apart from Justin Kodua and Stephen Tim, can you mention? But you can mention the.
I think I know the one guy, the organizer, Anabi.
Yes, those are
the ones I know.
Put the NDC executives and our executives, like for like. We need to do more, build capacity, get people who are very grounded. Go and look at our national officers for 98. Do you remember Major Kwashiga, late Kwashiga?
National organizer.
What's our national organizer?
Ajenim Boateng.
No, Damboche.
Took over from.
Yes. Where is Damboche? Why is he not speaking? He's not happy. People are not happy. Why is Kojon Pionim quiet? Why is Kwam Pionim quiet? Where is Isaac Kosei? Where is Osafo Mafo? Okaikwei is not too well, but he's fine. And Papa Usu Ankuma, where is he? He could easily become national chairman of our party. Why are they quiet? Haji Halima Mahama, why wouldn't she become a national officer?
You need people of that caliber, you think?
Wait.
To come and restore the party.
Yes, we are talking about image restoration and winning of public confidence. And you need such people. I say, why can't he become
Maybe they've handed
chairman?
over the baton, they are tired.
They can't be tired. You are tired when you have fixed the issue and hand over to a group that you believe will have.
Let me end with Galam say, will LI 2462 be amended or repealed? Because you are chair of a key committee.
The LI has matured. It's coming to being as
the
law.
Amended LI?
Yes, LI 2462 came into force on the 19th.
Friday?
Yes.
No, Thursday.
Thursday. Last
and
Thursday.
this amendment took away the power of the president to...
Yes. But that wasn't the promise of the National Democratic.
What we wanted them to do was to repeal it.
So your advocacy must continue because...
So wait, just explain. So now that it's been amended, must it stay for a certain period before it can be repealed?
No, it's become law unless they want to repeal the entirety of the airline.
That's what civil society is demanding.
Then they must push for it.
And what process must they go through?
They must send fresh petitions to the president, remind him of his promise, remind his minister Kofi Amabua, Samokujeto, and all those who...
And Mutala Ibrahim.
Who held press conferences with Baltic bottles or mineral water drinking bottles with brown water. Yeah. Galamsey is still
So ongoing. Personally, do you think that the airline needs to be repealed?
I think so. And some sanity.
So you will support civil society if we come to parliament?
Oh yes. Before I even presented my report, I gave them audience.
Correct.
Yes.
So we'll count on your support?
Yes, you have my support.
Mutala said you bought his law school form for him.
He's my good friend.
Then advise him.
That was in the 6th Parliament.
You bought his law school forms for him?
I always support people.
Advise him to do the needful.
I will do that, Bernard.
Boamah, I wish you well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bernard. And have a good evening.
Thank you. MP for Okaikwei Central, MP for the constituency that Channel 1 television is located in, speaking to us on a number of issues. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.